If I look at the Ghanaian economy at the moment, it's doing, I mean, let's just be honest, it's doing terribly.
Not terribly.
Well, your inflation in your country, inflation in Ghana.
I don't know the economy in the world that's doing well. Tell me
where
you are here.
Inflation in Ghana.
The highest inflation.
Well, 15.7%. The Ghanaian cedi has fallen 20% on the dollar, the worst after Russia, which has a lot of sanctions against it.
It's began to firm up. It has begun to firm up, and we're seeing the cedi systematically appreciating against the dollar.
People still can't employ. I was just reading today. People in the hospitality industry that you're pushing so hard. Having to lay their staff off. We've got taxi driver unions threatening strikes because of spiraling fuel costs. I mean, it doesn't look like a place that I want to go and put my money.
Where will you put your money in the world today? Where will you put your money? In Britain, which is suffering the worst standard of living statistics for over 30 years? Is it? Oh, I think let's situate ourselves correctly. The world is going through very difficult times. Ghana is no exception. Nigeria is no exception. There's no country in the world that is escaping the ravages of both COVID-19 and also the impact of the Ukraine. But what you need to look at are where are the elements being put on the ground that look beyond the COVID and beyond the Russian-Ukraine war. And I think you'll find that in Ghana, the recovery program that we have is one that is considered very credible, and it is what is going to give us the opportunity to come out of this period a stronger economy. And it is that future that we're looking at when we're attracting people.
Let's talk about one of the structures that you say you've put in place, the e-levy. A lot of people are calling it a stealth tax on people who already are impoverished. It's a 1.5% tax on people who do business on their mobile phones. So if they use their mobile phones to send money or to...
The digital economy, the mobile economy.
Yes, but you're taxing people on money that has already been taxed.
Is the biggest economy is emerging as the biggest economy in the country, and for a long period has not had any taxation at all. So it is important now that they also come into the net. Our country has one of the lowest tax to GDP ratios of any country in West Africa and of an equivalent economy. The ECOWAS area, the general average today, tax to GDP average is about 18%. Ghana, we're at 13%. So it's as if you're talking about a country which is already overtaxed, if anything at all, is undertaxed.
Okay, let me take you up on that point. On your low tax ratio to GDP. I'm just going to read this quote to you. It's from John Kwache, who I'm sure you might know is the Director of Research at the Accra-based Institute for Economic Affairs. He says there are several loopholes in our tax system that if they are plugged, we'll be able to raise our tax to GDP ratio to something like 20% from the 12% that you're talking about. Are you speaking to experts like him?
First of all, there's a recognition
that he says that there's no need for the e-levy.
Well, that's his point of view.
He's an expert.
But he's an expert. There are experts in government as well, and we think it's necessary, and that's the reason why we...
You think it's necessary to tax people who are already impoverished?
They're not already impoverished. We're talking about people. We're talking about taxing an industry and transactions where a lot of value is being created, and we want to also bring that value into government coffers. I think that is something that is there's nothing so, and the e-levy is not Ghana, it's the only country that has something like a digital tax. Many countries, they will not like it.
Because they're already taxing people who do business online, and then you are taxing as well.
People never like taxes. I don't know any group of people, especially businesses, when taxes are brought to them that like it.
When you hear all these stories, Mr. President, I mean, Ghana was one of the rising stars of, the economic recovery of Africa, so to speak. But when you hear about all these issues with the economy now, what exactly went wrong?
Nothing has gone wrong. We're part of those who have been very badly affected by what has gone on in the last 2 years. Until 2020, since I came into office, 2017, 2018, 2019, the beginning of 2020, we were growing our economy at about 7%, the GDP growth rate. One of the fastest growing economies in the world was the Ghanaian economy, even in the crunch year of 2020, when the economies of the world dived. Ghana, we still managed a positive rate of growth because the fundamentals of our economy are strong. But it has been a difficult task for all the economies of the world. I think it is important that when you're making the kind of provocative statements that you're making, that you situate yourself. You speak as if you're living in the same time as you and I, where the world economy as a whole has gone through very difficult times. And there are several things that we're doing, which is in the line of being able to pick up our economy again. I have no doubt that next year, if you were to come and speak to me like you're doing today, we will have a different set of facts for us to look at.